Our last speech of the evening, Are You Losing Your Spark?, will be presented by Amishi Gupta.
Are there still dreamers in the audience? Those who look up at the moon and think about touching its surface? Those who marvel at the Aston Martin downtown? Those who believe? No. This is reality. Whether you're a middle-aged woman with 2 kids or 13 and attending LCJSMS, who cares about dreams, ambition, or whatever the heck else? Even among the enriched minds I sit with in my math class, I hear more gossip than curiosity. Nobody cares because nobody has that spark. The oldest have lost hope, and the youngest are brain rotted. Yet, although it may seem like there's no spark among individuals in today's society, there's still a slight ember that burns, that we can turn into an even greater spark if we just stoke it. And that is what I'm here to bring to light tonight. The spark is getting dimmer, especially in my generation. The spark was when you were 5 years old and your eyes would light up every time someone asked you what you wanted to be when you grow up, or you felt you had it in you, the ability. Genuine curiosity, willingness to do what you want to do. Now, it feels like there aren't many of those things. Now, it feels like life is just going on, and you're not really conscious enough to know what's happening. Why is it our spark is gradually dwindling? Unfortunately for my generation, we have to hear a pill we've had to swallow too many times. It's because of that phone. The phone's not the problem. It's the influence that is. The need for instant gratification that forms from the social media addiction is a main cause of the problem. In the year 2000, the average adult attention span was 13 seconds. But in the rise of the internet in 2015, the average attention span was 8.25 seconds. And 10 years later, there isn't much improvement. For reference, a goldfish attention span is 9 seconds. So it's simple. We are all goldfish. Social media has made us all into goldfish. Because the internet is a world where if something is not of your specific interest and tailored taste, a simple scroll from your fingers can make you forget about it in less than a second. That would be a lot more convenient if it was present in the real world. But it's not. And that's why your kids don't want to leave this simple, brain-rotted, addicting world. Speaking of parents, I've been talking to the teens so far, so let's talk to you. Don't ask them yet. But what does your child like to do? Or what are they interested in? Let's think simpler. What do you see them doing most of the time? What do they talk about with you? If you think about it, it's always, in math class we learned, for the sake of answering your question, or what's for dinner? And it's those responses that make you think, I swear I remember raising my child with a personality. What I'm trying to say is that you're not a bad parent. It's that there's no understanding. These hollow conversations are part of the reason why parents don't understand their kids and kids don't understand their parents. There's no depth in the conversations between parent and child. It's unfortunate to admit, but it's because there's no passion. A big part of being human is being passionate. But are we still human if we don't possess that? Because now, scrolling is the only thing worth giving time to because it's so comfortable. I am a diligent straight A student. And yes, I do sound a bit conceited, but hear me out. I am very focused on school, and I hold my grades in the highest regard. But as shameful as I feel admitting it, I do drop studying and homework to scroll on YouTube endlessly. We're cursed. Cursed with this free, endless comfort and free, endless dopamine. That if someone with genuine drive loses that drive to instant gratification, you can see why many believe the future of this world is so doomed. Everyone says that as the next generation will be the most progressive and liberal generation. However, when I go out into today's culture, I see youth today being influenced by classmates and friends who only promote nonchalance and insensitivity, but isn't what passion, empathy, and deep emotion, what makes us what we think of ourselves as the superior species with an advantage over AI. When youth today is forced into a life of only nonchalance and indifference, how will we produce good quality work that will advance our world? How will we work with genuine passion and rigor when we won't care? How can we find the happiness that our world has lost when our only happiness is being a goldfish all day? And in light of me saying this, it raises the big question we all want the answer to. How do we get our spark back? There have been times like today when the world isn't really moving anymore because no one wants to change it or see much reason in doing anything really. The only reason the world has been moving all this time is because of extraordinary people. People with great talent and brilliance. And today's world is no short of them. But great talent and brilliance is like a candle. A candle that definitely has the ability to burn and illuminate the room for very long. But it has no flame. So how can its strong wax bring light if it has no flame? How can any normal candle bring light if it has no flame? Which brings me to my next point. That great talent and brilliance is beneficial to society's advancement. But people who possess it don't always become wildly successful. I was pretty mind-blown a few months ago when I found out that Edison, Thomas Edison, had been homeschooled for most of his schooling because his teacher gave up on him. It's the same Edison who invented the light bulb, the one shining on me right now, the one you turn on and off every day. I was also pretty shocked to find out that Albert Einstein didn't start talking until he was 4, when most babies would start talking at 2 years of age. It's the same Einstein who created the theory of relativity, and yet he was still called a late bloomer, a phrase which we all so hate, for 2 years of his life. Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of university to create Facebook. without any generational wealth. What do all these people have in common? They had the spark. If Einstein had learned all this bookish scientific knowledge in school, but never found his passion and genuine curiosity in science, people would look at you like you're crazy if you spouted out E equals mc squared, a fundamental equation if you forgot. No matter the person, no matter who you are, what skills you were born with, or how you started off, what you really need is passion, ambition, and grit. If those same people had the same talent and brilliance, but lacked the enthusiasm, would they have achieved the same? Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long and happy life, highlights the importance of the Japanese principle of ikigai, which are that your field must include your passion, what you love and believe in, and your ambition, what you chase and dream about. Which is how people like them who were able to be the best of their time, got to be the best of their time. Find your passion and ambition and let it consume you. Even when someone is just starting out and their apartment is cold from an unpaid heat bill, they still feel warm at heart, which is how people with low-paying jobs like artists and authors and actors feel so at peace and satisfied, while people with successful high-paying jobs feel so unfulfilled. They followed their ikigai, and they got excited. Remember when you were a little kid? I do. Times were simple. You get excited over something ridiculously simple like apples. I mean, some 10-year-old that looks weirdly similar to me does. Times aren't simple anymore because we've made them so complicated. School is cursed. Work is the worst. 8 hours, or 1/3 of our day, is immersed with the feeling of wanting to burst. This horrid feeling, how do we fight it? Get excited. Get excited by gold sunsets. Get excited by seeing a ladybug, by grabbing a coffee with your friends, or by seeing the building that was being constructed for years finally built. Be excited to see your friends. Be excited to go to school or work. Be excited to learn Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, because he's a pretty cool dude, especially for doing all that in the 19th century. Be excited that you're learning geometry and math, because these just might be the supplement to get you into your dream school once you ace AP Trig. Or you might use these formulas when you get furniture for your first apartment. Be excited that you're here today to hear the ideas of the new generation instead of, yeah, some kids are yapping about something and I'm giving my support. The way you see depends on your eyes. If you look in the beauty in the mundane instead of the ugly in the grayness, I promise you, the sun will shine a bit brighter, your smile will be wider, and the first spring flowers will look a little more colorful. Live a life you're excited by. But don't be complacent. What I also mean by living a life you're excited by is don't be stuck with mediocrity. Be ambitious. Ambition requires passion. And I know I've said that a lot. But they have passion because they have a reason to live, a reason to work hard, a reason to get up every morning. Ambitious people don't float around in life, waiting for their due date, wondering when they'll expire. Ambitious people have hope. And hope is what you see every morning when you wake up, not the ceiling. Hope is a vision, a beacon. Ambitious people run towards their beacon every day, never losing sight of it. Don't wallow around in the void of life. Do more. Be more. Look for more out of our small gray life. When you have a direction, and it's a journey you find is not only fulfilling, but satisfactory to your mind and soul, you live a life you're excited by. And finally, what I've been meaning to say for the past 10 minutes is, if life was a Bollywood movie, everything turns out all right in the end. And if it doesn't, then it's not the end yet. Be a dreamer, find your spark, and stay gold. Thank you.